So are you stuck at band 5 or maybe band 5.5? And you've been working really, really hard, right? Studying, focusing on grammar points, mastering conditionals, but you haven't seen any real progress. So you've been working hard, but have you been working smart? You've tried courses, you've tried classes, often expensive ones, which dictated that you study for 29 hours a day. Yeah, I know. They're only 24 hours a day, but that's what it feels like, right? You're being asked to do the impossible in order to get results, and that's not even guaranteed. Now, imagine taking back control of your life in the next 15 minutes. Imagine actually scoring IELTS 9 with me for this particular topic. Now, before you invest your time in this video, you really should know who I am and what qualifies me to teach IELTS. So I'm Nas, a native English speaker, but that doesn't qualify me or anyone else to teach IELTS. It's a very specialized test. So what does? IELTS accreditation, which I have, 12 years of international experience and working with some of the finest examiners in the world. In the last 12 years, I have leveled up my skills so that I can offer professional content to test takers. Look, I love being a YouTuber, but I am an educator first and foremost. Okay, the topic for today is describe a memorable conversation you had with an elderly person. Now, this is an informal speaking test, even though you are being graded. So what should you do? You should speak in a very natural, informal way, telling a story. It's really important that you practice telling stories. Next, I think it's very, very important that you brainstorm. So when you see the topic, write down all the vocabulary you can think of associated with the topic. Preparation is key. You are not in the exam. You don't have 1 minute to prepare. Give yourself 10 minutes to really sink into this topic and think about what you are going to say, the vocab you're going to use, and how you're going to weave this story. Pause this video, record yourself, listen to yourself, and then watch the rest of the video. Okay, are you ready to take back control in the next 15 minutes? Let's do this. We're going to achieve IELTS Band 9 for this answer. Describe a memorable conversation you had with an elderly person. Okay, so a memorable conversation, a conversation that sticks in your mind. And you had this conversation with someone who is older, an aunt, an uncle, grandmother, grandfather, along those lines. Include who the person was, where and when the conversation took place, what you discussed, and why the conversation remains significant to you. So who the person was. Let's talk about a grandfather. I had the privilege of conversing, chatting, having a conversation with. So instead of saying I had a conversation with, which would be repeating the vocabulary in the topic, you could say conversing. I had the privilege, it was an honor, and it was with my grandfather. Here, if you'd like, you can even build this up. My maternal grandfather, my paternal grandfather on my mother's side, on my father's side, a venerable figure who is revered by our family. Now, if you don't understand the meanings of these words, relax. We're going to cover it at the end, okay? So stay tuned until the end and you will boost your vocabulary, your score, by just staying tuned to the end in this video. So now we have the who, and it's really important to brainstorm some ideas to create a mind map of vocabulary when you have a topic. And remember to tell a story. it is an informal speaking test. So you want to speak the way native English speakers speak. So for example, if you asked me about an important conversation that I had with an older person, I would tell you the story. I would not list sentence after sentence after sentence, use a conditional, start with ing. No, I would tell you a story, and that's how you are being assessed. Now, let's move on to our vocabulary. Like I said, I'm going to cover everything in this session. So a privilege is a special advantage or right available only to a particular person or group. So you feel special. It's a privilege, okay? It's a special advantage. And venerable, accorded a great deal of respect, especially because of age, wisdom, or character. So grandparents are often venerable characters, aren't they? We give them a great deal of respect, mostly because of their age and their wisdom. And revered, regarded with great respect and admiration. There are many people in history who are also revered. So let's just summarize this part. The three phrases that you can use to describe this elderly person who had an impact on you, right? So we're going to use positive language. Privilege, it was a privilege. Venerable character, venerable man. Revered, he is revered by everyone in the family. You already have three amazing phrases. Let's move on to when and where the conversation took place. Well, it took place on a tranquil evening in the comfort of his cozy living room last winter. I'm telling a story. It was a tranquil evening in the winter in his living room. I recall that we were snowed in, and I distinctly remember the soft glow of the fireplace illuminating the room, creating an ambience of warmth and intimacy. Now let's look at some of the great vocabulary here. We were snowed in. It was a tranquil evening. The soft glow of the fireplace illuminating the room. An ambience of warmth and intimacy. Tranquil, calm, and peaceful. The ambience of a place is the character and atmosphere of a place. We often use it for restaurants. It had a beautiful ambience. Cozy, this is not band 9, but it's a nice word, giving a feeling of comfort, warmth, and relaxation. What our conversation was about? Well, our conversation was about many things. A better way to say that, our conversation spanned a myriad of topics, ranging from reflections on his life experiences to profound insights on the human condition. Now, this was an interesting conversation. It was an important conversation. It was a conversation you would not forget in a hurry, right? So it was memorable, and it spanned a myriad of topics, ranging from reflections on his life experiences to profound insights on the human condition. And you can then expand how he imparted pearls of wisdom, each phrase a testament to a lifetime of learning and contemplation. Now, if this sounds unnatural to you, please paraphrase it. What I'm trying to accomplish here with you is present vocabulary in context. My advice is to then underline the phrases and the words that resonate with you, that grab you, and use a few of them in your IELTS speaking part 2 task. So, during that conversation, he imparted so many pearls of wisdom. I was impressed because, each phrase was a testament to a lifetime of learning. Can you see? I am presenting the sentences to you in a very straightforward manner, but I urge you to use them in a very conversational, storytelling way. Now, there was a quote that resonated deeply with me. In the end, it's not the years in your life that count, it's the life in your years. I have to say, I love this quote. And I suppose as we get older, it has more meaning. In the end, it's not the years in your life that count. It's not how many years that you've lived for. It's the life, the energy in each year. And you can explain it just the way I explained it. It's a story that you're telling. Give yourself the freedom to speak. And this succinct yet profound statement encapsulated his belief in the importance of living purposefully and making every moment count. Now, if this feels too formal and unnatural to you, you can simply rephrase it, adopt it, make it your own. You know, this phrase, this quote, it was succinct, but yet profound. And it kind of encapsulated his beliefs about life. Can you see? I'm still using the vocabulary, but I'm speaking. I'm telling a story. You know, he added a couple things about how important it is to live purposefully. And he stressed over and over again that I should make every moment count. Can you see what I've done? I am presenting the vocabulary to you in beautiful, perfect sentences. However, in the test, I want you to take those sentences. I want you to take these beautiful phrases and turn them into a story. Some vocab, myriad, countless, extremely big number, myriad, pearls of wisdom, valuable pieces of advice, wise. So wise and valuable pieces of advice or insight, pearls of wisdom. And testament is tangible proof or evidence of something. And it resonated with me. It resonated with me. It elicited a strong emotional response. It resonated with me. I felt something. I had a strong emotional reaction to his words. And why? Why do you remember this conversation? Why does it remain etched in your memory? Because of its profound impact. On what? On my perspective of life. It changed the way I look at life. It showed me the importance of living, the value of time. So, of course, this conversation was memorable, but hey, memorable was used in the topic. So instead of saying memorable, it sticks in my mind. It remains etched in my memory. So interacting with my father, my grandfather, not just having a conversation, that's in the task card. So you're not getting extra points for reading the task card. You're getting a higher band because you are paraphrasing, you are using synonyms, you are leveling up. Okay, so instead of having a conversation, interacting with my grandfather reminded me of the value of wisdom accrued, gathered over time, and the importance of cherishing moments spent with loved ones. His words served as a guiding light. His words inspired me to strive for a life filled with meaning, with authenticity. This conversation served as a poignant reminder of the fleeting nature of time, you know, how quickly time goes by. One day you're 20 and the next you're 30. And the importance of embracing each moment with intention and with gratitude. Beautiful sentences, but did you see how I took those sentences, paraphrased them, created a story? You want to listen to me tell the story, don't you? And that means I've succeeded. Let's go through the vocab. It's etched in my mind. It's firmly fixed in my mind. It's impressed in my memory. Accrued, accumulated, acquired over time. Poignant. It evokes a keen sense of sadness or regret. It's a poignant memory, especially if he has passed away. Embracing, accepting, or welcoming something wholeheartedly. Now, what would I like you to do at this point? I'd like you to pause the video, go back to all of the screens with the sentences, and create your story. Even if you do exactly what I did, look at the screen and then record yourself rambling on like I did, then listen back and do it again. And if you really want Band 9, do it a third time. And once you've completed that part, join me again for pronunciation. Now, before we dive deep into pronunciation, I'd like to share with you a story about a student I had who scored Band 9 for speaking, but that was before she met me, right? And she was convinced that the examiner hated her. I thought it was a bit delusional, and in a very polite way, I kind of conveyed that to her. Well, fast forward 3 months through some interesting conversations we had while she was working as a doctor in a war zone in a hut covered in snow. And 3 months later, she scored Band 8.5. And my one and only question to her was, did the examiner like you? At which point she burst out laughing and she acknowledged how insane her assumptions had been. So why does someone score Band 8.5? The person who scores 8.5 is the one who is prepared. And while TikTok is entertainment, it's fun, it's not studying. It doesn't really help when it comes to IELTS test preparation. It's fun, absolutely, but the test is serious business. The person who scores 8.5 is someone who ticks all the boxes in terms of the criteria. Topic-specific vocabulary, pronunciation, using vocabulary in context, transitions, also tone and intonation, chunking, really natural speech patterns. If TikTok can help you do that, please feel free to share the links in the comments. But from my experience, the students who have scored 8 and 8.5 have taken IELTS preparation very seriously. And if you want to escape your current limitations, if you really want to achieve those high scores, then watch until the end. Now, enough of the chit chat. Let's master some pronunciation. And we're going to start with the first word on the list, privilege. 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 Venerable. 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 Revered. 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 Excellent. Tranquil. 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 Ambiance. 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 Cozy. 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 Myriad. 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 Pearls of wisdom. Pearls of wisdom. Pearls of wisdom. Note the chunking here. I can't split up this phrase. It would sound weird, okay? If I put pearls in another chunk and of wisdom and something else in another chunk, it's going to affect the understanding. We need to chunk phrases. Let's try it one more time. Pearls of wisdom, almost as though it's one word. Pearls of wisdom. Testament. 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 Wonderful. Resonated. 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 Etched. Etched. etched, accrued, 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 poignant, poignant, poignant. Let's pretend the G doesn't exist. Poignant, wonderful, embracing, embracing, embracing. And last on the list, sassant, sassant, sassant. Fantastic. Now, just for fun, and because I can, I'd love to add 2 idioms. Are you game? Let's start with silver fox. And a silver fox is an older man with gray hair with silver hair, often considered attractive and stylish. And what about an old hand? If someone is an old hand at something, this person is experienced and skilled, especially in a particular field or activity. I'm an old hand at IELTS. So let's recap. What have you achieved at the end of this video? You have a Band 9 answer for a topic that is not always the easiest to answer. You have 15 advanced words with perfect pronunciation and 2 idioms in your toolbox. And hey, you saved $100 by watching this video, so please like and subscribe.